So, hi, this is my audience for the informative speech number one, and let's begin. So, have you ever noticed that around town there seems to be a lot of these vacant plots of land that aren't actually being used? So, you probably see them overgrown with weeds, or if they're not overgrown with weeds, they're vacant, or if they're not vacant, they seem to be just grown with grass or palm trees, especially if you're in LA. Me too. That was me too, actually. So, in fact, for the first time I ever went to Austin, Texas, I found myself in the middle of one of the biggest urban gardens in the metropolitan area. So, I was surprised for two reasons. One is that I had literally just passed tons of residential housing, only to turn into this one, and it's housed a huge farm. A legit farm that was growing about an acre's worth of organic produce in the middle of a bustling city. The second was just how amazing the concept was. Now, coming from LA, I honestly thought that there was no use at all for any of these vacant lots, except to be like overgrown or just to be abandoned overall or whatever. But seeing, working, and volunteering at one of the largest urban gardens in Austin, Texas for a week actually taught me another possibility. That was that instead of these vacancies or palm trees or grass, there was another greener and more productive alternative that could possibly exist in these concrete jungles. They're called urban gardens. So that brings me to my point today. Today I'm going to explain to you what actually is an urban garden and what the potential benefits it could have on your own individual health, the community, and the societal benefits that extend past that. So, what is an urban garden? Simply put, lucky for us, the definition of an urban garden is actually in its name. An urban garden is just like this other form of agriculture that produces or grows local produce in an urban setting. So, in fact, in a paper done by Sarah Lovell for the U.S. Urban Agriculture for Sustainable Land Use in the United States, she details that urban gardens can be found in every nook and cranny of urban life. This could include previously vacant lots, your backyard, your front yard, or even just windowsills in general. A good example of this can be actually found on top of one of the nearest universities, which is UCLA. UCLA's dining hall utilized its rooftop space to create this agriculture urban farm that grows its own local produce, and they reuse those local produce and send it off to their dining halls. And from experience, I could tell you that not only does it taste good, it's also a really beneficial thing to have these organic produce in the midst of your own environment. So so now that you know that they're pretty versatile, I'm going to try to explain you that all these hidden benefits that most people don't know about urban gardens. So besides being versatile and can be found pretty much anywhere, urban gardens have to be shown to be extremely beneficial for physical exercise. Um, Something that's good about this physical exercise is that gardening is actually not considered an exercise by most. But if you think about it, it consists of standing, sitting, squatting, and shoveling, which are all physically demanding depending on how much you do it. And furthermore, research has shown that just by being around plants and cultivating your food, it actually shows, research has shown that there's a reduction in stress levels and stress in general. A paper by Bellows et al. Mentions that there's also a direct increase between knowledge gained and if you grow your own food. So the old adage is probably true that if you grow it yourself, you're more likely to eat it, which leads to better health. And the last one is that besides the individual, urban gardens are so useful for the community. There's actually quite a lot of benefits. So in that same paper by Sarah Lovell, she states that urban gardens can help these communities alleviate the problem with food deserts. And simply put, food deserts are like a term that states that certain communities do not have a grocery store available within some X amount of miles from them. And so that by having these urban gardens right in these areas, not only does it reduce the transportation cost, to reduce the cost of the actual grocery, it also helps alleviate this like food shortages of healthy foods. Actually, in fact, in Austin, I found that they use their excess produce in like this food truck that they themselves own. I saw firsthand how like every weekend that these communities would gather around this food truck with this local organic food, and they would come out, they would mingle, and they would bond and meet each other. So the exposure to urban gardens can also bring about and be a catalyst for fighting obesity. It's shown that if urban gardens can expose children at a young age to vegetables, fruits, and the importance of eating these healthy foods, they grow to value it more because they were exposed to it early. They see it themselves, how it's grown and how it's harvested and how you prepare it. So, and it's pretty easy too. So basically, for the past 5 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, I've defined to you guys what an urban garden is. And just to reiterate, urban gardens, want you to really remember that urban gardens are just literally these plots of land in some sort of urban setting that produces like a vegetable, a fruit, or whatever produce you would like to see. And second, I want to remind you that urban gardens have lots of benefits to the individual, including increased exercise, decreased stress, and it can help you form a healthier connection with food. Lastly, it's important to remember that urban gardens have the power to create a community. And not only that, I hope that next time you see this plot of land in your backyard, your windowsill, or even your front lawn, that you'll see it something more than just this empty space. Maybe next time you'll see it as the potential for an urban garden. So that's it. Thank you for listening.